Okay, I want to make a quick video on how to take conflict and use it as an opportunity to strengthen a team. Okay, so sometimes what happens is we get into conflicts with like teammates, each other, whatever, and there's conflicts and differences of opinion, and maybe even points of contention. And I've seen these like really erode and like rip a team to shreds and have it just really destroy people. So, you know, like something you can do is if you change your mindset, we may not be able to change what the other person thinks. We may not even be able to get them to adopt all of our ideas. But what we can do is we can get people to collaborate with us. Like, for example, we can say, we can do the hand on the heart thing, you know, before we even walk into the meeting or whatever the heck it is, sit down meeting, whatever you call it. Maybe just a quick, hey, come here real quick, let's talk, right? May we find the strength to cooperate and make a stronger team. May we fix this like a puzzle. If you say something to that like effect, basically you want to take whatever you do, collaborate and talk and listen to the other person, and then use that, and then just imagine the conflict, not even as a conflict of, hey, right, wrong, nothing like that. No, we're solving a problem. We're like fixing a puzzle. And, we're collaborating, we're talking, we are like getting stuff figured out so that we don't fight anymore, or we don't have contention, or you know what? Maybe you're noticing something I don't, and vice versa. If we combine our talents, strengths, even our perspectives of what we're seeing, you would be amazed. Like if you go in with that mentality and you would say, hey, listen, I just want to get this problem fixed. I want us to both feel heard. I want to have, good communication with this. You would be surprised how much just walking in there with a good positive mindset, this actually comes down to no joke. No one wants to go into an awkward meeting, right? So in not wanting to go into an awkward meeting, have you ever walked into a room where everyone's happy and excited to be there, and you automatically get happy and excited to be there, right? But then, of course, on the flip side, have you ever walked into a room where everyone was miserable, no one wanted to be there, and everyone was just watching the clock, hoping the thing would just end? Yeah. So what we're doing is we're capitalizing on that. If we have a good mindset and we're happy, that happiness, or not even happiness, but that willingness to foster good team building communication and solve things like it's a puzzle, as opposed to talk about what contentions we have and hoping that we'll win our argument, sometimes can really help you resolve conflict easier. And especially, my gosh, if you're in a leadership position, oh my God, you want to be doing this, because if you don't want people to be thinking, this person's just authoritative and tells me what to do all the time, that's the last thing you want. Because then what ends up happening is people won't tell you what's wrong. Like we had this thing called the Lance Corporal Network, right? Lance Corporal Underground, Lance Corporal Mafia, right? And what it was all of us Lance Corporals, we all are friends with each other. We like work cross platoon, like yeah, I knew like all the dirt that was going on with like Motor T. And from there, like people knew all the stuff that was going wrong with, with me and the grunts, for example. Like I got to the point where I knew, like, if there'd be like a controlled detonation, like people send off like bombs and stuff, like ordnance. Sometimes in bomb disposal, you have to like destroy the ordnance package, right? That you see, or an IED with an explosive, because it's just safer to do that for everybody. And it, pretty much they would find these on base, maybe, and they would detonate these. Well, I had so many higher ups that would just go run, hide in bunkers, whatever the heck else. There was one time I napped in my rack. I just slept through it. And like what I do is if I heard like an ordnance package, or a mortar or whatever, I would literally just, this sounds so bad, I would just look at my watch and I would know if there was like a scheduled debt like that day, because I just like pull it out from my notebook. And the thing is, we adopted this Lance Corporal Underground because our higher ups would just be flipping out on us. They'd be upset. They'd be angry at everything we'd say. And so then we got to the point where we would just conceal information and just say, they don't need to know. Like, I still do that today, where it's like, I'm still to the point where it's like, God, if I can just keep things within like my team, my group, whatever, I like to just do it that way, just settle it. I think it's truly because I was in a toxic like environment where the higher ups were very upset, like all the time. And so, but if you go solve it like a puzzle instead of being authoritative, you won't have a culture like that. In fact, the best way to have open and honest communication is just be solving stuff like it's a puzzle. All right.